The extensive rainstorm of August the 4th, 2014 caused significant flood damage to hundreds of homes in Burlington. One of the main factors contributing to flooding is how well the culverts are cleared prior to any rainfall. I have tracked the culvert guard buildup at the Four Seasons Drive and Forestvale Drive culverts and have shown a repeatable practice by the City of Burlington to allow the culvert entries buildup to have minimal remaining flow capabilities. While the City of Burlington has recently upgraded these two culverts with a surface area of 20,000 square inches, it is this surface area that determines how much additional waterborne leaves and sticks can be collected before the culvert drainage is again choked off, initiating flooding of the adjacent properties. These dated culvert guard collections show that prior to May 14, 2014 rainfall, the Four Seasons Drive culvert guard had less than 15% of the surface area cleared, as the road and park maintenance field personnel simply removed the debris that had previously covered this guard, but only provided this minimal opening until more debris covered it yet again. The Forestvale Drive culvert had less than 5% cleared. 2014, and we're looking at the new culvert guard and the approach to the Forestvale culvert. This is mid-April 2014. We're at the Forestvale culvert. We have a new culvert guard, and we see that even though we've only had a couple of light showers here in April, that already the sediment is filling up, and of course the leaves are stuck onto the front of these vertical bars, so you can see how high the water level has been raised even with this small amount of rainfall. So here at the Forestvale culvert, it's easy to see the water level has brought the leaves right up to the top of this culvert guard, fully covering all of the fronts and sides. Obviously the mud level has been right up to the water level, and mud level is right up to this point as well. And when the water level goes down, we'll see just how much sediment has been filled into this entry to the culvert. Pretty much the first significant rainfall we've had actually in 2014. This is still May 13th, 2014, and now we're at the Forestvale Drive culvert, and you can see the floodwaters are just enormous. This culvert guard is useless, and once again the water levels up here at Forestvale are, boy, that's not that I live up here, but this is when I've come up to check out the water levels and the flooding, this is about as high as I've ever seen it up here either. This is just amazing. I'm looking down to see if I can possibly see this handrail on top of that concrete structure they put in. I don't see it. I don't see the handrail anywhere. So it would appear that the water level is in fact, even right now, and this is about 8 o'clock in the morning, and the water levels have definitely receded. This is probably it's over top of the handrails, I guess. I don't see handrails anywhere. So this is the afternoon of May 13th, and we're now at the Forestvale Drive culvert, and we see that of course it has had massive flooding, and we just see enormous amounts of debris, and the entire entry is filled with sediment. My thoughts are very close to the top of this culvert guard entirely. We see some of the quarry rock on the other side, and the water is totally eroded around that. The mud going up the hill is like I felt this morning. The mud levels were probably as high as they had ever been. And we just see an enormous result of erosion, high water flows, and it's pretty easy to see. What we saw this morning was everything, the water levels had come right up to the top of these handrails, and we can see the results of that. It's covered with leaves and stuff at the top of the handrail. So that is how high the water got this morning. Just amazing. So just looking at the depth of the leaf pack at the front of the culvert guard, it's you know, well over a foot thick over top of the culvert, over top of the entry guard, and so water just isn't going to go through there quickly. We honestly haven't had any significant rainfall in April this year, or even anything in the whole of 2014. So if we'd had any significant rainfall, then of course it would have had substantial flooding of the whole area. This is once again, this is May the 1st, 2014, and we're down at the Four Seasons Drive culvert. And yesterday, on the end of April, the parks maintenance people came down and raked out all the leaves that had covered this entry guard. So that's why we're seeing the water just spilling right over the edge. And they raked it up just along the side with the rest of the debris. But you can see where this had raised up to the top of this concrete structure. You can see where it had already flooded well up along the sides of these quarry rocks. And you can see the amount of sediment that has been left here in this basin, and knowing that this is about this is well over a meter deep. This is still May 13th, 2014, and this is right at the Four Seasons drain, where we had this culvert guard put in, and the water level is obviously the same water level we just saw from upstream. The water level here is without a doubt the highest that I've ever seen it. We're looking across at Hans Vermeulen's property, and it goes, looks like the mud level is way up on his embankment, and that's something I've never seen. I'll have to talk to Hans and see if he's ever seen it that high. And we're looking down here, and you can see Right here, this is the handrail that's sitting, that's in place, mounted on top of that concrete structure. That's the handrail. It has been totally covered, and you just look at all the logs and debris that have floated down. It's just a disaster, absolute disaster. Wow, the mud levels on the creek bank, easily 10 inches deep. So now we're, of course, right at the culvert guard, and we can see that it is, this whole entry basin is entirely filled with debris. Without a doubt, the highest, this is the highest flood level that we have ever seen here. In all the years we've had flood damages, this is without a doubt the highest level. It's apparent that the policies and practices of the City of Burlington is not to have the culverts cleared to avoid flooding, but to allow buildups, therefore avoiding having to clear the debris buildups as frequently. Of course, we have seen that at the City of Burlington there is really no interest in avoiding flooding of adjacent properties, just avoiding getting sticks, etc., from entering the culverts. Upon my election as Ward 1 Councillor, I will move to establish a photo history of culvert cleaning, such that at every visit by the Road and Parks maintenance personnel will require a before and after photo taken with their cell phones. This photo history will become part of a database at Road and Parks Maintenance. And this will enable the Road and Parks maintenance managers to more accurately understand the level of culvert preparedness to handle large rainfalls. This is also a capability that will allow the residents to capture the culvert status that will affect them, then emailing these photos to Road and Parks Maintenance. This input from residents will essentially expand the Road and Parks Maintenance inspection data and will allow the Road Parks Maintenance managers to better prioritize the culvert cleaning activities. These photos taken by residents and stored on their computers may also be a valuable resource should their homes and properties suffer flood damages. In fact, even today, homeowners will be demanding the culvert clearance history of those culverts that resulted in the huge flooding and property damages in August of this year.